Well, Lauren, agriculture is a major economic driver in the state of Indiana, and today we take an in-depth look at the dangers our farmers face while working hard to put food on our tables.
Yeah, so just about 2 months ago, a Henry County woman died on her farm after getting trapped in a grain bin. And it's tragedies like this and others that inspired a local fire department to take action to protect our farmers.
The corn had gotten out of condition, and we all knew it.
August 27th, 2007. Fire trucks raced to the Henderson family farm in southeast Bargersville.
Just started digging with everything we had to get him out.
Neighbors rushed to the scene of tragedy.
Everybody knows everybody, and he was one of the best.
80-year-old Dick Henderson, a staple in his church and his community, missing inside a grain bin on his farm.
So a lot of times people that don't live in the rural community don't understand why a farmer would even go inside that grain bin, but it does happen, and we understand why they go in there.
But Dick's son Brent, a lifelong farmer himself, knows why.
My brother, my nephew, and I, we took turns. Two of us would go up in the bin, break up anything that was bad. But my dad wanted to be involved, and we told him, he didn't need to go up there.
He says his father, who after knee surgery felt more like a 50-year-old than an elderly man, went up alone to assess the problem with the corn.
But some people think, well, why do you go in the bin? It's dangerous. That's our job.
And many of them have done it for years. This has been a part of their life. They get in, they work in that grain bin, but it just takes that one time.
Dick Henderson died on his farm. One neighbor telling WRTV the Lord reaped a bountiful harvest that day.
I'd grieve in the morning going to the field and coming home that night, but the rest of the time you're on.
Farming is in his roots. To this day, Johnson County's Brent Henderson works his family's land. And in his father's memory, he, his longtime friend, Deputy Chief Mike Pruitt, along with the Bargersville Fire Department and others in the community, worked to make farmers more safe on the job.
We realized that the fire departments at that time weren't up on grain bin rescues.
Since that time, the department has raised money to buy specialized farm rescue equipment and invested in this unique training facility off Smoky Row Road. And this training facility behind me here in Bargersville isn't just about Bargersville Fire. Several departments train on this so that if something happens here in this county, a neighboring county, or in the region, they're ready to go. Check out this grain bin they fill with donated corn for hands-on training.
We basically build a tube around the individual that's trapped. If they're still on the surface, then we have the ability to suck grain out or scoop grain out with coffee cans until we've cleared that grain around their chest.
Pruitt tells me firefighters travel to farms as well to practice these tricky rescue operations.
And once you start unloading the grain out of the bottom of this bin, it just creates a vacuum, and it will literally slowly pull you down to where you can no longer breathe. And if they're submerged below the surface and we can no longer see them, then we take a little bit more aggressive approach to opening up the sides of the grain bin to let the corn flow outward.
But unfortunately, if an individual is below the surface, the likelihood of survival greatly decreases.
So once you've sunk down in the grain, you just can't breathe anymore at that point. There's no self-rescue.
And so in July, the department is working to raise awareness about grain bin accidents while raising funds for the latest rescue equipment by showing the feature film Silo at the Artcraft Theatre.
Shut it off! There's been an accident.
The film, inspired by true events, depicts a grain bin tragedy and how rural communities rally together. Working for you, Lauren Casey, WRTV.
And you can catch Silo at the Historic Artcraft Theatre in downtown Franklin on Sunday, July 11th at 2 p.m. Tickets will be available soon at the theater and through the Bargersville Fire Department. But we wanted to dig a little bit deeper into this issue. Pruitt says there are on average 35 to 40 of these types of grain bin accidents each year on farms across the country. That includes smaller family farms and even those bigger commercial operations. Johnson County's last tragedy was Mr. Henderson back in 2007. 2007. But here's a look at some others we found across the Hoosier State. Governor Holcomb even declared the third week in February as Grain Bin Safety Awareness Week in the state of Indiana, with the hope to raise awareness of the dangers so that the public is aware and farmers remember to take the proper precautions. For more information on this issue, you can just click on this story at WRTV.com.